Yes, you guys, welcome back. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys another News Daily video. Now this time we have a ton of stories to break down and discuss today. I'm going to be speaking about the loan destination for Conor Gallagher. I'll be speaking about the future of N'Golo Kante and interest coming up from Inter Milan. I'll speak about the latest surrounding Kai Havertz, Edouard Mendy, and new kit leaks as well. So we have a ton of things to speak about today, you guys. I hope you enjoy. Before I get into things though, let me get the plugs out the way first. If you like today's video, then smash that like button. Help me get over 4,000 likes for today's video. And for the second plug, you guys, today's video was brought to you by the OneFootball app. Download the OneFootball app right before the new Premier League season does start. Honestly, you guys, you will use this app constantly every single week. It's a great way to get information surrounding stats, fixture news, team news from the opposition too, plus many other features. So if you guys want to check out for yourselves, you'll find a link below in the description. And without wasting no more time, we start with the first story today. And I think it's best we start with the latest surrounding Kai Havertz. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Nini, what is taking so long for this Kai Havertz announcement and deal to get wrapped up and concluded? You know, with a deal like this, for a massive deal like Kai Havertz, naturally, there are going to be complications and it is going to take long. You know, we do have some positive news today though, you guys. Leverkusen have agreed a fee with Roma for the signing of Klik, who's currently on loan at RB Leipzig. Now, it seems like they are going to pay 27 million to sign the player, and hopefully this now means that AS Roma have the funds to make a move for Jorginho. But you know, that's a completely different story for another time. Sticking to the Kai Havertz news, as we should already know, you guys, Havertz has agreed personal terms. We have agreed an official fee with Leverkusen for the signing of the player. He is going to cost us 72 million up front with an additional 18 million to be paid out in clauses in the deal. So this tells us that Kai is our player. We have signed him, he is ours. The only thing we are waiting for right now are those press shots and the official big announcement to come from the club. Now, as I told you guys in a previous News Daily video, due to COVID and due to the security checks, etc, you know, things are quite difficult to get things like this done. We saw recently with Thiago Silva that there wasn't much buzz around him because the club couldn't really do anything to get those PR shots ready. We did see with the signing of Ben Chilwell though that yes, if given time, the club obviously do have some special things planned, and naturally I can imagine they are cooking up something big for this Kai Havertz announcement. Now, for any of you guys that are still a bit worried about this deal, there was an even bigger official confirmation from Kai Havertz's former manager and Peter Bosz at Leverkusen. He said in an interview today that he expects to never see Volland or Kai take part in a training session again, which tells you everything you need to know. Now, I thought that maybe this deal could be announced today. That seems quite unlikely. Kai has joined up alongside Timo Werner and Rudiger with the German national team, and I guess at some point this week we should see something, and this should be finally confirmed and announced. Now, we move on to the second story today, and this story is based on a recent edit that was doing the rounds on social media. As you guys can see on screen right now, it is a potential leak for the third kit for this season, as we're seeing the color scheme black and yellow. Now, I told you guys in a previous video that I was hearing personally too that black and yellow could be the scheme we see for the third kit. You know, time's gone on, the future's come, and we've realized that that isn't going to be the case. But the question is, do these photos, do these leaks potentially tell us something new? Not likely, you guys. If anything, this was just a very good edit done by someone that we just don't know. Now, the sad thing about seeing this though is the possibility that we may never see a kit like this, and it is sad to see. Can you imagine the absolute source, just how drippy guys like Ziyech, Werner and Kai are going to look like on a UCL night playing in a black and yellow kit? It feels like we've missed out on something big there, you guys. Like, that kit would have been fully me. Like, that would have been my favorite kit of the season. A bit surprising why we never went for that color scheme, and I'm quite curious to find out how this, you know, original information about a black and yellow kit even came from. Could that be possible designs for next season? Could that be possible designs for a fourth kit? We don't know at this point in time, you guys. Let's see what happens, but it looks beautiful. It's a great edit, but unfortunately, you guys, this seems like this is nothing that's based on reality. And now we move on to the third story today, and it's a bit of a mazza. It involves Inter Milan, Kante, Emerson, Giroud, and 70 million. Yeah, you guys, we have a lot to break down and discuss. Now, over the past 24 hours, news has been coming out left, right and center around this possible rumor, possible story. Maybe today there was some more confirmation behind things, as notable Italian journalist Tancredi Palmieri came out today saying that it seems like if Kante was sold in this window, we'd want 50 million to let him go. Of course, that brings up so many more questions, and we do know with N'Golo Kante, as we heard previously in reports linking us with Declan Rice, that the club would only entertain selling Kante if it was a ridiculous offer. But the question is 50 million euros enough to sign a world-class midfield player? I don't think so, and I think that would be a massive L. But anyway, let me get back to the story, you guys. It does seem like Inter Milan have not given up hope signing someone from our club. They've been linked with our players for God knows how long right now, and it's obvious with Antonio Conte and him being an Italian journalist, they prefer to work with players that already understand their tactics and their systems. Right now, Inter Milan are hoping that they can sign Kante on loan for the season and then buy him at the end of his loan spell as well. The price they're looking to buy Kante for at the end of the loan spell would be 45 million, so I guess that falls in line with what Tancredi has had to state. But I just think that right now, a team in us that is using a 4-3-3 that is, stacked up in box-to-box mids, we're signing another one that can play that profile in Kai Havertz. You need to have someone behind them that can sweep the danger up and be that defensive balance that midfield would most definitely need. So if you're selling Kante, there's no way that maybe just signing Declan Rice with that money would be enough to maintain things. I personally feel we need to have at least 2 DMs to help us out during next season. I don't know how to take the news, you guys. Inter Milan are longing out our lives, absolutely. Emerson, it keeps getting longed out. It seems like, originally Inter Milan want to get him for a bit less, which was naturally going to happen when we announced the signing of Ben Chilwell first. The ball was in their court. They know that right now we have 3 left backs, and of course we have to get rid of one because that would be just too crazy for the team. Still though, it's funny how reports evolved to the story saying that Inter want to spend 70 million to get Kante, Emerson and Olivier Giroud. Now I guess what, 45 million for Kante, let's say 20 million for Emerson, and let's say another 5 million for Giroud. I mean, there's no way we're going to sell out those prices. I guess the bare minimum I'd expect for all 3 players would be at least 100 million. But even then, for me, Kante is a no-sell. He's 29 years old. He doesn't have any, serious injuries that are really affecting his career. All the guy needs is a bit of a break to get back to full speed. So let's not give up on Kante just yet, you guys. He still has more life and more legs for us. We now move on to the final 2 stories, starting with the 4th one, and this is more news surrounding Edouard Mendy. And it seems like we have made a second official bid to try and sign the goalkeeper. Now, I did tell you guys in the previous News Daily video that right now the club's plan for the goalkeeper position is to spend up to a maximum of about 20 million to sign a keeper. Now, I've been predicting throughout the course of the transfer window that to sell Kepa might be an impossible thing. It seems like most realistically it makes sense to keep him here and sign a cheaper alternative to act as a competition goalkeeper, because naturally guys like Caballero, I guess, just aren't good enough to seriously just get Kepa, fighting for his place in the team and fight to secure it. In comes Edouard Mendy, and previous reports did state that we had an official bid of 50 million turned down, and the second bid we've made now is set at 80 million. Now, Rennes are still adamant that he is a no-sell. That deal won't happen. However, if we've got that Premier League money, you guys, of course, we can make anything happen. We know that Lolis, Sean and Petter, these are 2 professionals. These are, guys that understand the goalkeeping positions perfectly. If they're vouching for the signing, then I have to believe their words and I have to respect their professional opinion. And actually, this brings me on to Frank Lampard, because it just sums up his amazing man management. Now, what tends to happen time and time again in football is that the professional opinions of scouts and advisors at the club constantly get undermined, because most times managers get the final say about who comes to their team and who doesn't. Now, most times managers aren't basing their opinions on the latest stats and information, etc, etc. It's just their subjective opinions. So it's good to hear that Lampard isn't one of those same managers. I'll give you guys an example. Lampard has been a massive fan of Nathan Ake, and he wanted to bring him to this club. But based on the professional advice of advisors, scouts, etc, that have analysed the weaknesses in the team, that know that we lack aerial prowess, they gave their opinion that Ake wouldn't be the best signing to make, and Lampard, being very diplomatic, very intelligent too, and knowing how to work in a team, took their words on board and took their advice. That's how it works, you guys. That's how you create a working environment that just energizes everyone in the club. It's great to hear. So Edouard Mendy, I feel like I'd be down for this signing. For him personally, this would be great, to make the step up from Ream to Rennes to now us in the space of 3 seasons could be absolutely unreal for the player. The fact that, yes, he'd be signed as that second competitive goalkeeper, knowing that, okay, I have a chance to secure my place ahead of Kepa, and if I absolutely smack it if I sign, hopefully that could maybe persuade the club to not reinvest too heavily into different goalkeepers. So time will honestly tell. But you guys, it is great to know that Lampard is taking on board the professional opinions of people that understand what goalkeepers have to do. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to end things with the final story today. It's centered on Conor Gallagher, and it seems like he is destined to sign for Crystal Palace on loan for the Premier League for next season. Right now, the only hold up in securing the move, because at this point in time, Conor has obviously completed his medical to sign for Crystal Palace. The only thing left that's stopping this move from finalizing is that Conor has to agree to a new contract extension before he finally goes. At this point in time, he does have 2 years left on his deal, and you'd understand that if we don't secure things right now, if we were dumb and did an Arsenal, this would mean that Gallagher, coming back from his Crystal Palace loan spell, would only have 1 year left on his deal. And once that happens, you guys, players get their heads turned, other clubs might show more interest, and our asset and our investment becomes dramatically less. Now personally, I think this is a great loan move for Conor Gallagher. I think Crystal Palace are trying to revamp how they play and how they approach their games. They've recently signed a very exciting English talent called Eze from QPR, and the fact that Conor and him can play in the same midfield together, that could potentially just give Crystal Palace a different dimension. If Zaha still remains there, they have some other decent talents in there as well. I think that this could be the best place for Conor to learn his game, following the footsteps of Loftus-Cheek that really benefited from that loan spell at Crystal Palace, and obviously he gets to stay in London, closer to friends and closer to family too. So it's been a very good career path for Conor so far. To make the step up from Charlton to Swansea to a Premier League team in literally like less than 12 months is just amazing. It tells you everything you need to know about his abilities, his dedication to his craft, and how serious he is to become one of the best players he can be. I think that anything can happen with this player. I would not be surprised if he became part of the team one day. I thought his performance in the friendly against Brighton was very good, and I think that he can be a success at Crystal Palace. And there you have it, you guys. That was my news daily video for today. There could be more content coming out today and a live stream too, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm in the FC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.